Ford came out with its Mustang Mach-E back in 2020, and 3 years later, I still don't see that many of these around. With this one's obvious competitor being the Tesla Model Y, people are just flocking to those, especially these days with the way Tesla's been dropping the prices on them. With the EV price wars going on, it's not even just the Mustang Mach-E. Most EVs don't have a chance compared to the Teslas. But Ford actually built a pretty great electric vehicle with this Mustang Mach-E, and in this video, I'm going to give you some reasons why you should consider buying this over a Tesla Model Y. First of all, thanks to depreciation, this 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E, you could actually buy it for $28,000 with only a handful of miles on it. That's actually incredible value if you think about it, because this car brand new was over $50,000. So in about a couple years, it's had incredible depreciation. Now keep in mind that for the $28,000, you are getting a base model Mustang Mach-E, but in my opinion, that's plenty of car for the money. I think they did a pretty good job with the looks. They made it look a little like the Mustang on the front end with its Mustang logo up front, and it's got the signature Mustang taillights back here. One of the reasons I appreciate this Mustang Mach-E is because there's still a lot of normal car features in it, like actual stalks and dials and buttons that you can push, as opposed to everything being through a screen. But the one big issue I have with this is this completely pointless door handle. They added a button and a little thing to grab with your fingers to open the door. Completely useless in my opinion. Ford went one step further and decided to not even include anything to grab the door back here. Just a button and that's it. Now, just to set expectations straight, I want to be very clear that this car does not have nearly the kind of technology that the Tesla does. That doesn't mean that the Mustang Mach-E is completely devoid of technology. It has enough. It's an electric vehicle after all. And as you'll see, Ford did a great job of making everything work pretty well. This vertical screen that Ford built into this Mustang Mach-E is my favorite. It looks really nice, functions real well. And I love this integrated dial in the middle for the volume knob. Not only does this dial act as the volume knob, it also acts as your airflow controller. And you can change the airflow settings just by using the same knob. The design and graphics on this display are really nicely done. I also like the interior fit and finish. It has a high-end premium feel to it. The way the dash comes together and the way these components fit with each other, it's done really nicely. And I would even say that the quality in here feels like a step up from what you see in a Model Y. The seats in this one are nice. It feels like you have a good driving position. You have a sense of comfort. And with most modern day electric vehicles, there's a lot of stuff to figure out, but in this one, you almost feel like you can just get in and drive because there's a sense of familiarity. To get going, you have a start button to start the car on, and you have a dial for park, reverse, neutral, drive. Flip it into drive and you're off. The screen is pretty straightforward to use. To get into controls, just hit this. You have 3 different drive modes: whisper, engage, and unbridle. And when we take this out for a drive, I'll demonstrate to you what the bridle mode sounds like. Driver assistance, you don't have much. You have standard table stakes features these days, like blind spot, pre-collision assist, reverse brake assist, and so on. Definitely the Tesla's the clear winner here. With many cars you get in and it's a nightmare to try to figure out how to get to the right menus. In this one, I think it's very intuitive and user-friendly. You don't need to Google a whole bunch of stuff just to figure out how to get to the right thing. Climate control settings are very easy to get to. You have a nice big rear view camera with great resolution. This is an interesting feature with the brake coach. Looks like it allows you to brake more efficiently for the regen braking system. That's pretty cool. Clearly not a humongous amount of technology, but just the right amount to get the job done. Plenty of storage too. Great from a practicality perspective. Simple, clean display behind the steering wheel. And then the most important feature in this car, entertainment. As you're charging your Mustang Mach-E, why not solve a Mustang jigsaw puzzle? Ooh. I think I need a hint. Oh yeah, it's a Mustang. The Mustang Mach-E is on the smaller side, so you're not gonna have a lot of room back here. It'll be a little bit cramped for the taller folks in the back seat. You have pretty good room back here though, especially if you put the back seats down. The front's not bad. Enough room to hold your charging cable. Now let's take this out for a spin. This is the Mustang Mach-E base model, so it doesn't have the crazy quick acceleration of the GT. This Mustang Mach-E has 266 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque. It's not the GT, which can get you to 60 miles per hour in less than 4 seconds, about 3.5. But with electric cars, with all of that instant torque and power that's available, you don't need that much to have a quick car around town. So even though on paper the power figures are not that high, because the Mach-E is a smaller vehicle, it's actually pretty quick. Pickup is fine. And what I'm really surprised by is how quiet the ride is. I'm going at about 60 miles per hour. The insulation's pretty good. I'm not hearing road noise or tire noise. Wind noise is pretty low. The ride is definitely on the firmer side. I think the Tesla Model Y ride is cushier. This is still impressive, and I'm surprised Ford was able to pull off something like this. And I keep thinking to myself, $28,000, 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E, few thousand miles on it. This is a really good car for that kind of money. This is what whisper mode sounds like. Pretty quiet, just an electric motor humming away. This is vibrato mode under acceleration. I wonder if they used some inspiration from the Mustang GT V8 to create this. Still pretty quiet though. They could have made it a little bit louder. The comfort level, the ride quality, the way it drives, it's all very well tuned by Ford. And I like the heaviness of this steering wheel. There's good feedback, it's finely tuned. And even though this one will not feel like your traditional sports car, like a true Mustang, not even close to anything like that, it's still a fun, enjoyable driving experience. And most importantly, if you get this, it would be your daily commuter car, presumably. And from that perspective, this is a really good way to get around town. The only complaint I would have is my personal preference is to be seated lower in this one. And the seat doesn't go down any further than where it's at now. But other than that, I'm very happy with this. For a base model, very impressed. Still got enough power. It can be fun if you wanted to. I really like this Mustang Mach-E. I think Ford did a great job building this, and I like the Ford Lightning as well, which I did a video on. They're doing all of the right things when it comes to building these electric vehicles. Now they just have to figure out how to sell them. For $28,000, this car seems like such a great deal. I would get this over the Model Y. This car is so impressive. It's quiet, comfortable, refined, a lot more upscale than you might imagine coming out of Ford. Once people figure out that these can be bought in the 20s, they're gonna go out and buy them in droves. So now's your chance. If you're in the market for an electric vehicle, forget the Model Y, take a look at a used Mustang Mach-E.